Okay, next up is Jeremiah Church from Cross Connection Control.
My name is Jeremiah Church. I am with Cross Connection Control. Today I'm going to talk to you about keeping our drinking water safe. It's something everybody in this room cares a whole lot about, and a lot of people probably aren't familiar with the processes and procedures that go in behind the scenes of the entire process of making sure that we all have clean, safe drinking water. I grew up with working with my dad out in the field doing landscape irrigation and, more importantly, backflow testing. For those that aren't familiar, backflow is any time unsafe water can flow from a connection out in the system back into the public drinking water system. There are devices in the field that prevent this. They are called backflow prevention devices, really fancy. And these are done anywhere that water flowing backwards can occur. Without thinking about it, you probably haven't heard about this a lot, but they are everywhere. This building has a bunch of them. If you were downstairs in the restrooms, you would have seen some great examples. Sprinkler systems require backflow. Fire sprinklers require backflow. All sorts of other systems that we use every day require backflow management and the entire process that goes behind this to ensure that there's no contamination in our public drinking water system. Dentist office, dialysis machines, pools, spas, car washes, the list goes on. Backflow is everywhere. This industry has a problem. This industry is absolutely drowning in paperwork. The industry has existed since the Clean Water Act of the 70s and still runs entirely on paperwork. Our solution takes that paperwork and puts it onto a mobile device. We take that paperwork out and make it better. It's an end-to-end SaaS, and let's talk about what this process looks like before C3. So before C3, you had that paperwork stack. It's very manual. You're out in the field as a tester. You're performing a device test in the field. You're writing your results onto this piece of paper. You take it into your back office. Your back office makes copies of that report, one to your customer, the end consumer, and one that goes to your records that you have to keep for 5, 10, 20, in some states as many as forever years that stack up. And then you send another copy off to your water utility. This is going to be the city of Seattle, Tacoma, Kent, etc., public utility districts. And then when they get that paperwork, they've got to enter it into their systems. They've got to keep that paperwork forever, and all of that process repeats for that. Then at the end of their year, they've got to send that off to their regulatory body, the state of Seattle, or the state of Washington EPA, the federal EPA, etc., to make sure that this entire area is compliant. It's a very long, strenuous process that involves a ton of paperwork, copies of paperwork, and a lot of places for human error. Our process cuts that out. You're able to enter those results out in the field. You're able to capture that data. You're able to communicate that data electronically so that that process is greatly simplified. We're able to employ automation at all the right points. So whereas before you may have 5 or 6 staffers in your office entering those results from a piece of paper into an electronic record system, we're able to do that for them automatically. So that error process doesn't exist anymore. And when we're used in the back office of a utility or in a tester, we're not creating those friction points that a lot of other systems create, where maybe you have to enter into a web portal that requires a specific format, or you've got to work with an existing system. It's complicated. We've streamlined that as much as possible so that that process is a lot easier for all involved, whether you're using our system or not. How do we make money? Today, in the US, there are 250,000 testers that do this work today. There is equal market share in the rest of the world, Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. This is a large industry that a lot of people haven't heard about. Today, we charge our testers between $15 and $100 a month per tester in the field for that product. And then we're also working with water utilities. There's 150,000 of those water utilities in the US alone that are required by the EPA to manage a cross-connection or targeting and working with some of those early ones right now with an average value of about $1,500 per utility. Again, equal market size in the rest of the world as well. Backflow is about a $3 billion a year problem today, and our solution goes so much farther than just backflow. We also go into other complex inspection and repairs, annual fire inspection testing for the fire sprinklers here, the alarms are working, the work that has to happen around fat, oil, and grease traps, health inspections. Other inspection systems don't manage the complexity of the information that all of these other processes require, and that's where we think we can bring real value to that market. The competitive landscape, that's a little small, apologies. A lot of these products and markets have been in, a lot of these companies have been in the market for a long time. You've got the juggernauts, the Oracles, the IBMs, the Maximuses, Maximo products that sell a module that meets the needs of some of these as part of their larger city or government sales process. You see some of the SaaS solutions that are starting to become more popular now for the mid-size and the smaller companies, CityWorks and et cetera. There's a slew of options in the Backflow specific space. Most of these are old Excel applications or access databases that just don't work in mobile. They don't provide that value that you have of a phone out in the field. And then there's still paper. Paper still accounts for more than 30% of this market space right now. And that's just untenable from how much time people are spending and how much budgets are being restricted in this area. To date, traction, we will pass 100,000 tests entered into our system by paying customers in the next month and a half. We are a Oregon Technology Business Center resident and funding recipient. We were the only technology conference speaker for the National Backflow Prevention Association, a very fun and exciting conference. Sizzle. Fun time ahead there. And more importantly, our customers love us. They speak very highly of us. Those are a couple of our quotes from people. And we've been growing month over month, every month for the last 6 months, cash flow. Been going really well. How are we getting to this market? This is a unique market. This is not a market that sits in front of a computer all day looking for new products. We've got experience in the market. We're able to get out in front of them, talk to them, drive adoption, sell that financial impact, that fraud reduction ability that having a phone in the field capturing that data can provide that no other manual solution can, even paper. Our team, myself, 10 years in the industry, 15 years in enterprise SaaS. My partner, Brock Sheehan over there, brings us customers and keeps our customers happy. How can you as an audience help? There's so much more than funding that we're seeking, right? We're looking for experienced sales marketing people in this industry selling to utilities. It is a different world and a lot of different sales, so we're looking for help to do that better as we go up market with our utility product. Introductions to other angel groups is always appreciated. And then, hey, if you have a backflow device, if you have sprinklers, if you have a process that you call somebody for your sprinklers or irrigation and say, hey, ask them about us. See if they've heard about us, if they'd be interested in us. We'd love to talk to them. Hopefully you can all join us in our mission to ensure that we protect our drinking water and keep it safe for everyone. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sam Hurkadli, and I was one of the due diligence team members for C3. I want to acknowledge the other team members, the Swaroop, and two of our team members are not here today, Mark and Sean. So. I also want to thank you because it was wonderful working with you and you were very open to the process, open with the information, so appreciate it.
And thank you guys, it's been a great process.
Yeah. So as part of our due diligence, we explored many areas. It was not limited to this, but we're just kind of summarizing some things. Talking about the team, as Jeremiah said, he has certainly shown that he has deep knowledge about this area. He's been working in this field for years, and he understands it. And I know that he has also said that he's seeking other advisors, but they want to build a product all by themselves because they have a good understanding of the market. One of the areas we looked at was the market size, and I have to say, this was one of the kind of challenging areas in terms of when you look at what is available out there in terms of information of who the testers are, you can look at the certified testers and you can get some numbers and say, oh, okay, there are certified testers who have certified through the American Backflow Association. But there's also this one area of non-certified or independent testers who work with other organizations, like they might be doing fire inspections or, I don't know, FOG, the fat and oil grease industry, and they don't get accounted for. So I think we need to recognize that there is a potential for this market to grow, and right now it looks like it's in the hundreds and millions. Traction, that is something you guys need to jump out. Dance. They have had amazing early adopters. There's been zero churn. I mean, folks have not, there's nobody who has kind of said, come back with any negatives. They have, I know that when you had provided the numbers, Jeremiah, they have on the highest tier of subscription. I think that's the maximum subscribers that they have, and they have continued to sign up and continue using the product. And I know when we talked on Monday, we have, they have 4 early adopters in the water utility world, and that's exciting. So, congratulations. So going forward, I had a couple of questions for you. One of them is, I know at this point you guys spend about $200 for customer acquisition costs. How can this be driven down?
A couple of ways. When we blend the water utility side and the tester side, we get some really good marriage of being able to reduce costs on both sides. A utility using our product will naturally encourage their testers to use that product, and that will be very low cost conversion on that. We're also testing a lot of different methodologies to get at our current customers to refer people. We're finding that our testers don't want to refer them because they call us our secret weapon. But we're trying to find other areas in the space, training companies, certification companies that can be incentivized for referral bonuses and things along those lines to bring those costs down substantially.
Excellent. And then the next question was, how do you know you're building the right product for utilities? Because when we reached out to utilities, we know, by the time folks got back to us, we know it's a slow-moving industry. And so, how do you connect with them, and how do you know that you're building the right product for them? And what is your plan to kind of, get traction with them?
A lot of that's showing the value proposition to them at the trade show, speaking with them, showing them the technology options, brings them to us seeking our feedback, our guidance on being a industry expert on technology and helping them, just having a conversation with them. These are folks that have been using a same problem product for 5, 10, 15 years, and they're screaming, hey, here's my exact problem. I have this problem. We talk to another utility that has a different problem, and we add all those up, and we get a very good go forward direction of what we need on our product. It's listening to our customers, gives us the right product to go forward with.
Perfect. Any questions? There's somebody with a question?
30 seconds? Yeah.
So is this product versatile? Can you apply it in any other areas, not only for water testing, but for some other government-related paper flows?
Absolutely. We're set up, we're very much focused on Backflow right now, but the process and the core components of our application have been built so that we can branch out and deal with those other, we call them complex repairs, complex inspections, can deal with the processes across anything in that area.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Yes. Good job.
So we have some great sponsors that are providing some support for the entrepreneurs. We want to get more entrepreneurs to be successful enough to be angel investors so that we amplify the cycle.